imagine these two at the crease going to be critical. One of the things that Rob Powell likes to do, he likes to late cut and dab and scoop and use the pace on the ball. But the two left-arm spinners, particularly Harmeet Singh, outstanding again, Aman Patel.
Yeah, yet again, we've talked about it. Since he's come into international cricket, he's been so very good, whether it's the ODI format or the T20 format. It's the reason he was the number 1 overall pick in Major League Cricket back in 2023. And Ash Kenjigay showing he's no slouch either.
Big kind of litmus test here now, isn't there, for Nepal as well? What we'll see them do is run between the wickets cleverly, but this batting order, it's a drastic change, isn't it? Arif Sheikh into the team, but he's not in yet. He's at number 7, and then it's the two all-rounders, Sampal Kami and Karen KC at 8 and 9, and then really just the two bowlers after that. You were speculating that maybe Gulshan Jazz come in too early, and then with no Kushal Malla in the side, it isn't the makeup that I thought we'd see in the 11. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I can understand Sampal Kami coming in, just trying to get that seam option on this surface that might offer a little bit of swing, but you mentioned Kushal Malla. He is the kind of batter that will dig in and just kind of sustain your innings and allow your bigger hitters around him to flourish. And without him, you just feel Ja and Irie tend to get out of place. They're forced to bat in situations that are different.
There's also no Lalit Rajbanshi in the team, so very contrasting approaches from the two sides. Obviously, USA will have better experience of the conditions, but both teams were here during the T20 World Cup, shouldn't be completely alien. 3 batters in the 15 that we've now been given. Wasn't really much of a squad announcement. I think they were still trying to work out whether they could get Sandeep Lamachani in time or not. As Dipender Singh Irie, well, quite stunning. That is the stroke of the day. The 100's come up. It's the stroke of the series thus far. He's joined an exclusive list with 6 sixes and an over this year. And this shot, every bit better than him. Inside out over extra, all the way for 6.
And Nash Kenjigay read that as well. He's pushed it out even straighter towards him. And even then, he's adjusted very, very late. Cut the shape on the short side of the ground. Ends up being 6. And it's more the footwork, everything that happened before he played the ball that made that 6 so special. And then you just have to add he played into out over extra cover.
Absolutely stunning stroke. And maybe a sign of things to come if Irie can get going in the last 6. Nepal have a good platform. What can they do with it? It's 105 for 4.
पैसा भन्ने कुरा जुन बेला पनि चाहिन सक्छ ठाउँको ठाउँ पैसा पठाउन मिल्ने फोन पे त मेरो लागि एकदमै सजिलो उपाय हो
पैसा पठाउने र पाउने छिटो सजिलो र सुरक्षित माध्यम फोन पे डाइरेक्ट नगद छोडौं फोन पे गरौं
Both to double figures and going about it in different ways. Nosh Kenjigay's finished his spell. 4 overs, 1 for 36 for him. Little expensive today. 6 overs remain. Aman, 160, probably not going to be enough, is it, on what looks a very good batting surface? Nepal would want more than that.
Yeah, again, we speculated 180 is probably what you're looking at. Having been here just 10 days ago for that minor league final, 173 was chased down with about 3 overs to go. So 180 is definitely achievable, but when you bowl well, things can happen. We saw a team got bowled out for 126 on this surface. 36, all that was the lowest score we saw. So definitely things can happen, but you give yourself an uphill task if you don't get to that 170 mark.
Netravalkar to return. Dipender Singh Irie fascinates me as a cricketer in everything he does. He does it at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He runs between the wickets swiftly. He fields exceptionally well. I think his bowling in this format's so good, but his batting in some ways is underrated, isn't it, in T20 cricket? You look at his career numbers. He's the leading run scorer in this format. He's got one of the best strike rates, over 140, and he's averaging more than 35. Why was he batting number 8 in Canada?
You're almost thinking about the wicket almost. I think it's probably what Monte Desai did. He was just thinking would save him, try to hit bigger, try to get a guy to be a finisher and play in a more natural approach, and not force him to try to dig out innings. And like you mentioned, his strike rate is so good. I just feel that maybe Monte Desai felt that let's just have him play his natural game. It came off in a couple of matches, but it did feel low even as an outsider watching in.
Yeah, he didn't probably get the returns that you would have expected, but he was coming in right at the death. In fact, in one of the games, I think he was in with only 5 balls remaining, and he got 18 off 5 balls. So certainly you'd think he's been underutilised. So I think him up the order is a good thing, up to number 5, but probably would have kept with Kushal Malla in there as well, particularly with the 2 left-arm spinners in the USA lineup. Almost too many options sometimes for Nepal. But Irie, well, he looks full of verve, doesn't he? And he's very much into his work. These two are lightning quick between the wickets. But Jones, cleverly, he's 15, 20 yards off that bigger boundary, cuts off the second.
Yeah, something to watch for. Again, that's where this game feels like it's going to be won or lost. Your ability to take advantage of that bigger boundary as a fielding unit, and then again as a batting unit. How does that chess match continue to play? We've seen Aaron Jones be up 15 yards, and then we've seen other fielders kind of drift towards the rope, and that's when Baldo was able to take a couple of twos alongside Kushal Bertel. So curious to see how that plays for the rest of this innings and then into the USA innings.
Innovation. Oh, an exceptional innovation. It's not going to be 6, but it will be 4. We were just talking about how he likes to ramp and scoop and use the pace on the ball. He sees fine leg up in the circle, and he gets it for a critical boundary. Good stroke.
Well, it's a safe shot because fine leg is inside the ring. Just had to get any bit of bat on it. He's got it outside the off stump as well. Well done. There again, we talked about his ability to play behind square. Rohit Baldo, he's able to do it yet again, and this is why this 24-year-old is really just ascended into Nepali stardom. The captain now, and again, he's put together a fine knock.
He's a fine captain as well. He's certainly grown with the role as he's taken the reins. It has been a tricky year in some ways for Nepal. There hasn't been the wins the fans have wanted. This one's guided away. Should be a couple again because Padel's so quick between the wickets despite the fact that it's Kenjige. Oh, he is rapid, isn't he? Himself and Dipender Singh Irie as quick as there are for Nepal and maybe as quick as there are in the world game. Exceptional running again.
Yeah, and that's why you're almost surprised about the results column for Nepal this year. They haven't gotten those wins. The World Cup, they were close to beating South Africa. I remember you were hanging your heart on that game down there when we were in Florida. But
I was in a dark place at the end of that game. Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair. I think physically and emotionally you were both in a dark place.
I didn't know what to feel. I was so proud of one of the best associates. I was so proud of all the associates at the World Cup, but it was the game of the tournament, wasn't it, in so many ways? And, it just was so close. Heartbreaking. The way Gulshan Jazz bounced back since then, I've been so impressed with. 5 remain. 1-1-5 for 4.
Azmani, tatumuluhan.
No, senor. Picture, please.
Sa tatumuluhan niyo.
Picture coming. Picture.
Why choose between your favorites when you can have both? Introducing Pizza Hut's all-new Momo Mia.
Mamma mia.
The best of both worlds on one plate. Momo Mia Pizza. Test the epic. Starting at $7.29. Pizza Hut. There's something for everyone.
Had that 5-wicket haul, didn't he? Second in T20I history for USA.
Yeah, I think it's just because Harmeet Singh was continuing to produce wickets, and that got Nash Kenjige to find his way into the wicket column. I think had you had seen Nash go wicketless in his third over, you probably would have seen Milind Kumar in. But it just goes to show the amount of bowling options you have if you're USA, and Monik Patel uses his bowler so well.
Yeah, no Yasser Mohammed today, the leg spinner, not in the team, and Janoy Drysdale also missing out, who's had some good moments since he's come into the international game. Big over this one, it's the last one of Harmeet Singh, and immediately paddles down the ground at him. Harmeet Singh, you probably were watching the coverage, I know you're watching the coverage in the Netherlands. You started to get a sense as to just how impactful he's going to be. I know at any level, you saw him at the World Cup, exceptional. But at the associate level, for USA, they have uncovered an absolute diamond here.
I think it's his ability to adjust. I think a lot of times in the limited format game, it's all about your ability to adapt to situations. And a lot of associate cricket is about how well you can adapt, how quickly you can adapt. That's what Netherlands are, one of the more unbeatable sides, because even in tricky situations, they find a way to carve out good innings with the ball or the bat. And Harmeet Singh does just that. While he's someone with the bat is very explosive, he can carve out an innings. And then with the ball, you just saw it there. He knows Bottle's going to sweep him. He's pulled the length, slowed it down, and he just changed things.
Misfield, bit of a sloppy piece of work there at backward point. Padel's even thinking of a third. Yeah, he just looks like the kind of guy who in an ODI is not going to go for more than 40, and in a T20, if you take him for more than a run of ball, you probably had a pretty decent day against him. He's picked up the 2 wickets here. Fast hands from Irie. Poor misfield. Might have been... It was Saiteja Mukamala, wasn't it, at backward point? Down the leg side, whipped around the corner. Protection out there. Will cut it off, and brilliant work from Kenjige. Cuts off the second as well.
Pretty smart batting as well from Deepinder Singh Irie. It's a similar way he got into that stroke that he hit Nash Kinjige for that 6 over extra cover. Harmeet Singh was much quicker through the air, so he just used his wrist to whip it around. You saw him make that extra room, and that's why Deepinder Singh Irie, again, always in the